Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I always feel so weird saying hi. I don't like, when does that get comfortable? Hi, welcome to the YouTube of me. Welcome to my channel. If you don't know who I am, I'm Kara Vargas. I am a photographer, a mom, a wife, blah, 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 blah. I've just recently been putting a lot of effort into my YouTube channel. I think it's a really good outlet for photographers to not only share their lives, because when somebody is hiring you as a photographer, they want to know who you are as a person. If they're going to invest in you, whether it be a wedding or just a regular session, they want to know who you are. So I just feel like YouTube is really great for that. One thing that I did, one thing that I wanted to incorporate this year into my YouTube was some education for photographers, but specifically for people who are just starting out. This is my 5th year as a photographer. I'm not an expert. I'm still learning so much. 2019 was my first year as a full-time photographer, and I shoot weddings, I shoot couples, I shoot families, I do all of that. But the hardest part about deciding that you wanted to be a photographer is kind of figuring everything out on your own. Unless you go to school for it, which I did not, I had to learn everything just by doing my own research, and literally there's still so much for me to learn. And I'm I've already done 5 years of this. I'm on my 6th year. So, but with that being said, there is a lot of little things that when you first start out as a photographer, you probably have no idea that these are things that you should be doing. So for my first video, I just wanted to go over, wow, that light just changed on us, didn't it? Okay, I just wanted to go over 7 things that you should be doing as a photographer right now. If you're trying to be professional, if you're trying to make this a career, these are things that you need to learn right now so you don't make mistakes later. Okay. But before I get into the details, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and give me a comment if any of these things were helpful to you. I am going to keep posting tips like this, so if you like this video, then subscribe. We can be in this together. So anyways, let's jump into the video. So the first thing that you should be doing that you might not know that you should be doing is shooting in RAW. Let me just preface this whole video by letting you know that I'm so bad with technological terms and all the fancy words. I'm gonna talk to you in the way that I understand it. So when you first buy a camera, the settings that it comes with is gonna be shooting in JPEG. So you want to make sure you go into your camera and change the settings to RAW, because when you're shooting in RAW, it's going to, when you bring your RAW images into edit, it captures all of the color elements, all the details, way more than when you're shooting in JPEG. So when you're going to edit a RAW image and you need to probably correct or work with the exposure, change things like that, it's gonna make your life way easier. So most professional, well, probably all professional photographers shoot in RAW. The second thing is, I have seen photographers that just start out and they only own one SD card, and it's super high gigs, 100 and something gigs or something like that. But okay, I'm gonna not say this is what you should do, because everybody's different. But what I do is I have 20 different SD cards, and I replace my SD cards every year. So every year I'll buy brand new ones, but I only get up to 32 gigs because I don't want to fill up an entire 64 gig card and then have something happen to it. So what I do, if I'm at a wedding, the camera that I have does not have a dual card slot, which that means you can put 2 SD cards in the camera and it'll write the same images on both of those cards. So my camera, I have a Canon 6D, and it's just one card. So what I do to be safe, on my wedding days, for example, is I'll probably use 5 or 6 different memory cards throughout the day. So I start with one, and I have mine numbered too. So I'll write 1, 2, 3, so that I know when I'm importing my images, what order they should be going in. For example, the getting ready, I'll put in one card, and then when we get to the ceremony, I'll put in a second card, and then when we get to the couples portraits, I'll put in a third card, and so on and so forth. So you always want to have the mindset that your SD card is going to fail on you. So you want to make sure that you're keeping your cards up to date, replacing them, and using multiple. Another thing that you should be doing is keeping all of your images on a hard drive. So after you import them to your computer, before you even edit them, you should put them on a hard drive. And I get a new hard drive every year. I think I get like a 1 terabyte. And so I'll put all the raw images onto the hard drive, and then I will, after they're edited, put those edited images in that same folder, and I just hang on to my hard drives forever. Really, you should back up your images multiple times, like 2 or 3 times. I also like have them in the gallery that I send to my clients. Definitely keep our photos on a hard drive. You don't want to just keep them on your computer and then have something happen to your computer and then lose your clients' images, because I have clients that ask me like years later, they'll say like, oh, I lost my wedding images, like because they have never like printed them or like downloaded their gallery and they need their images again. So I have to make sure I can get them back. Piggybacking on that one, when I was talking about a gallery service, when you deliver your clients' images, something that I really like to do, and a lot of photographers these days do, is deliver their galleries through a gallery service. I've used Pixieset, and I've also used, well, now I've switched to CloudSpot, which I really love. And your clients can download their gallery, like all their high-res images. I'm like speaking over my words, stumbling over my words. Oh my gosh. Okay. And they can like order prints and stuff like that. So those are the 2 that I have used and really like, but there's a million of them. And the galleries are so beautiful when you're like scrolling through them. Insert gallery here. And it's just like a really great experience for your clients to have to go through that. Okay, another one that is so important that I did not know about until like the 2nd or 3rd year I was shooting is you need to have contracts. If you need to have contracts to save your butt, no matter what the situation is. Something that I am so glad I did was get HoneyBook. It's basically like a whole organization service. You can do invoices, brochures, contracts, everything through there, and they have built-in contracts and you can adjust them to whatever fits your needs. But make sure you have every single client sign a contract, even if they're just a model, because you want to make sure your images are protected. You don't want them throwing some ugly Instagram filter over your picture when they're posting it on the internet. Like, we do not need that. So make sure you have contracts. And then something that is very important is keeping track of your taxes, keeping track of how much you're spending, how much you are earning, blah, blah, blah. So what I have been using this year, please ignore like the big number that's on here because I have to go through so many of my transactions, is QuickBooks Self-Employed. QuickBooks will keep track of all of your spending. It even tracks your mileage. And then at the end of the year, like, so it's January, so I just went through all of my 2019 stuff, and it made it so easy to keep track of everything. So that's something that I just recently discovered, is the QuickBooks Self-Employed. One last thing that I wanted to show you guys that I didn't know about for a while is, because when you first start out as a photographer, you don't want to make anything more complicated than it has to be. So you just do everything how it's like auto set up. So if you are using Lightroom, well, if you're using anything, you want to make sure you're exporting your images in high resolution. So here I am. This might be a little bit difficult. Let's see. Here I'm in Lightroom. I'm just gonna export this image. So go to File, Export, and then this little box will pop up, and I'm gonna scroll down to image sizing. So technically a high resolution image is gonna be 300 pixels per inch. So what you can do here is, when you find this box, pardon me if this isn't even in focus, but change it, and I do it at 500 pixels per inch because it is not automatically set like that. I don't know what it is because, well, I changed it. But to make sure that your clients are getting the quality product and that they're able to print these images in the highest quality, you want to make sure that you are exporting in high resolution. So anyways, I think that covers the 7 of them. You guys, these were just a few things that I literally thought of within like 5 minutes. I was like, you know what, I want my first video to be just things that I wish I knew when I was first starting out as a photographer. So I hope this is helpful to you. If you guys have any questions about anything I talked about, I'm sorry if I didn't explain them very well, but these are just things that I feel like are super important to make sure that you are really giving the product that your clients are paying for. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes of being a photographer. People just think you take pictures and then send the gallery, and that's really not it. There's so much. You're constantly working, going over all the little details of your client experience. So I like to call it an experience. But anyways, okay, I think that is everything that I have for this video. If you guys have any ideas what you want to hear next, I am all ears. I don't have like an exact plan on all the videos that I want to post. I just want to get some education out there for you guys. All right, you guys, that's enough for me.